Heads roll at Disney as the guy who canceled the Owl House may be out of a job. It's time for the latest news out of animation. It's the most intense rivalry between two guys named Bob you've ever seen. Disney CEO Bob Chapek has stepped down from the company to be replaced by Bob Iger, the previous CEO. While that may sound peaceful, it wasn't. Chapek had no plans to quit. His contract had been extended for an additional 3 years back in June. But Disney shares were down 41% over the course of 2022 prior to this news. With no clear signs of a turnaround, the Disney board seemed to have lost patience with him. By contrast, Iger is the man who spearheaded the takeover of Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. He's beloved within Disney. He also disagreed with many of his successor's choices, such as raising the price of Disney Plus accounts over $10. Giving Iger the job back is a clear course correction. The former CEO has been given 2 years to restore Disney's profit margins and find a new successor. Given that he was the guy who picked Chapek, Iger is probably going to have a tough time convincing the board of his next candidate's worth. So how does this relate to Owl House? Bob Chapek was appointed CEO in February of 2020. With how long animation takes to produce, the show's original approval would have taken place long before this point. However, one of Chapek's big changes to the company was to adjust how show budgets worked. He stopped individual departments from making decisions about financing and distribution, instead creating a new group that made those calls for everyone. This was Disney Media and Entertainment Distributed, DMED. Overseen by Chapek's friend Kareem Daniel, DMED controlled what budget every show, movie, or other production would have, and where they would end up. The people who had approved Owl House Season 3 were no longer in control. Instead, it was someone who was trying to manage all of Disney's accounting out of one division. Without context, without talking to the creative team, the random cut starts to make more sense. While Daniel's personal views on animation are unknown, his friend Chapek was openly contemptuous of the art form. Before becoming Disney CEO, he was chairman of Parks and Resorts. His background is not on the creative side. He made a particularly infamous comment last year. "I always say that after our audience puts our kids to bed after watching Pinocchio or Dumbo or Little Mermaid, they're probably not going to tune into another animated movie. They want something for them." Those aren't words that make Disney fans happy, let alone fans of Star Wars animated material. It sounds like Chapek barely understands anything his company has produced this millennium. The reaction from industry professionals to Chapek's departure ranges from happy to ecstatically happy. Matt Braley, creator of Amphibia, claimed the entire animation industry was rejoicing at this news. While that sounds hyperbolic, it appears accurate. JJ Conway, current Transformers director over at Nickelodeon, certainly seems happy about it too. And it's easy to see why. Following Iger's return, DMED is likely doomed. The prior CEO preferred the older, decentralized structure. If Iger disbands this new department, that would put the power to make decisions back into the hands of creative departments and away from a tech industry-style single manager. Will this lead to more shows getting greenlit in the future? Could we see fewer random cancellations? Only time will tell. But as always, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest news out of animation.